Dire team ban. Ten seconds remaining. Radiant team ban. Dire team pick.
Dark Seer.
Radiant team pick. Ten seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Reserve time. Reserve time. Radiant team pick.
Lich.
Dire team pick.
Winter Wyvern.
Dire team ban.
Actually, hey ho.
10 seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Reserve time.
I think he's the damage dealer though, so it's not too bad. And one of the reasons I can see Lich being better than
Radiant
Dazzle as a
team
second
ban.
pick here is because it's not giving away the support you're dealing with for the Darkseer. So they have an option if they want to pick more kill-orientated support, or if they want to pick a solo hero to deal with the
Dire
Darkseer and then have
team
a
ban.
spot to roam around. Some a bit more options, I feel like.
No.
Radiant team ban. Ten seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Radiant team pick.
Gyrocopter!
Yeah, it's
Dire
also a
team
pain to be
pick.
an offlane Darkseer against a Gyrocopter, so Disrupt would have made it even worse.
Ten seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Reserve time.
Yeah, and it also just means not completely magic orientated in the early game with the Starladder, amping up his right clicks a bit. Small synergies.
Shadow Fiend.
Radiant team pick.
He scales with farm, not skills, so makes sense. I can't believe Shadow Fiend's actually third pick. It's like highly prized in Europe, I think, so I'm surprised it didn't get picked or banned.
Ten seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Reserve time.
Yeah, it's actually a really good point, because when you run Shadow Fiend on the Dire side, he would like some help from his supports for the start further away from the lane, and you'd rather not be doing it yourself. Considering they should feel like Lich and Starladder is going to be an aggressive dual lane here, they're not going to have the supports to deal with that unless they pick, as you say, a really strong laning support and stronger carry. So I actually find it really weird that Golden
remaining.
Gyro over the Shadow Fiend, because they do pretty much the same thing, but it's a bit more
5
synergistic with
seconds
their lineup,
remaining.
I feel like, and it's also Radiant
Spirit
Shadow
Breaker.
Fiend.
Radiant team ban. Ten seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Reserve time.
Yeah, the hero's really strong right now. I'm not sure it's like strictly
Dire
OP
team
like
ban.
Rainbow Pony was last patch, but if she manages to get shut down early, she can be like put a lot. Her farming's not the best. Still doable though, so should have a favourable matchup though against the Shadow
10
Fiend, barring a lot of
seconds
interference from the Spirit Breaker.
5 seconds remaining. Reserve time.
Yeah, it's also really good against Gyro. Could go for something
Radiant team
maybe
pick.
like Clinks, or not the best option because of the amp damage, but it's still a thing. Pop's obviously banned out, so that's not an option. Razor was decent, but as you said, he also got banned, so I'm curious what they'll go for here. Because I don't think they're going to try to contain too much. I feel like they should put more priority on the Shadow Fiend with the Wyvern.
Dire
So
team pick. Ten seconds remaining.
I don't think either of those are a particularly good option. Maybe if they feel desperate,
5
but I
seconds
feel like
remaining.
Golden Boys have a really strong lineup against both heroes, so I hope they don't go for either.
Reserve
It's too
time.
much like snowball potential. Not enough space on the map for HellRaisers to have a secondary farming hero. Those two at least. Got any bets?
10 seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining.
Beastmaster.
Yeah, I kind of feel like they drafted themselves into a bit of a hole. To answer your question, that team fight's mostly just going to be Shadow Fiend and Iron Shells for a long part of the game, and maybe the Wyvern if he gets good levels. The reason I think they drafted themselves into a hole is when you pick Shadow Fiend on the dire side, you do want some kind of help because mid lanes are generally not that advantageous. So that's going to draw the Wyvern away from top lane. Then you got a Beastmaster presumably who's going to be dealing with a
10
Starladder Lich lane.
seconds remaining.
Not favourable for him either. So the supports are already under a lot of pressure. Picking the Spirit Breaker means he'd do something towards Windrunner or the Gyro, but he's not, like, that's wrong laning support. I guess he could be if they wanted to opt for like a tri-lane top, but then it's just
Yeah,
and the late game's also just not better, so I feel like they have to do a lot in the early game, and game which they definitely can. Like it's just execution based, where GP have a bit more of a Pereira lineup.
definitely. And Golden Boys just have a lot more fallback. If something does go wrong in mid lane, they always will have the Gyro farming. If the Gyro's having a hard time, Windrunner's probably not having the worst of times. Either way, let's get into it, introducing the players. We've got Ninja on that Shadow Fiend, Sharklo on the Darkseer, It's Live O on the Beastmaster, Yojitsu on Spirit Breaker, and finally Goddamn on the Wyvern.
Golden Boys, we've got maybe next time the Drafter on the Earthshaker, Fug on the Windrunner, S224J on
That's
the Lich.
Skanks. That's Skanks.
On the Lich, Skylark on the Slardar, and Kaiser on the...
Yeah. And another thing that I'll be interested to see in the two games I've caught, Thug generally had an okay performance in mid, but he didn't seem to be maybe quite as ready for it, but obviously they did beat OG yesterday. I unfortunately didn't catch that one, was costing some stuff, so we'll see exactly how his mid lane ends up going. You mentioned that you think HL's lineup is a bit harder to execute. Do you think their laning phase is also more difficult, or, I mean, this Darkseer Spirit Breaker lane is pretty hell.
Yeah, it's got the ability to put a lot of pressure onto the Gyro, but it looks like because of the ward that the Earthshaker put out, they see the 5-man rotation, so they might even opt to dodge, but the more favourable lane for the Gyro, where he has to deal with the Beastmaster and possibly the Wyvern instead, should actually be really smart from them.
Yeah, they've already got Skylark down in the bottom lane, spots out their rotations, telling his team just to be careful. So it looks like we'll have the usual rune split, one for top, one for bottom, and this matchup, it's pretty even. We've actually got Beastmaster as well. Put it up top. This is another thing I was gonna say. It's not fantastic, but Beastmaster, I mean, you generally want the boar in lane to harass, but you could potentially send it to the jungle to stack for Shadow Fiend.
Yeah, if you want to do that kind of next level stuff, if he summons it right now, he gets a mark. That would be legit, actually.
It's something I've seen before, where Beastmasters, instead of using their boar to harass in lane, either just deciding that their lane is a bit awful, they will kind of just constantly use the boar for stacking, and it can certainly help you as the Beastmaster farm catch back up because of how axes work, but with Ninja on a Shadow Fiend, should help him out too. And here comes the Arctic Burn that we've all gotten so used to, forcing Windrunner to pop that Windrun, and goddamn just doing some good harass, so... Pretty standard stuff. Now, down bottom, we've got Sharklo actually doing a lot of damage to Skylark. Level 1 Ion Shell. Apparently
he's
doing
gonna have
work.
a fun time in this lane. Not really going to be under pressure for quite a while. And I want to point out the Spirit Breaker is literally jungling. So stay off the map, be as efficient as you can while doing that, which is not something you see too often. And I'm not too sure how it's going to work out, but if it does, I'll be impressed.
Yeah, I'd never seen the Spirit Breaker jungle. He's already down to just one tango, but it's not strange. I mean, I think having one salve, having a bit of mono regen, probably your first or second charge is going to end up with you super low. So, seems like a decent engagement, and we've got to stun him to mid, just harassing Appa Ninja a bit. This Earthshaker, we've discussed before.
Top.
Oh, we've got Gyrocopter taking a lot of damage. Kaiser's gonna be our first blood. He just goes down, and now Skank's looking like he may be in trouble too, but Jiu-Jitsu, he is level 2, not getting the bashes that he wants, so this top lane, strange tri-lane, doing work.
Yeah, that's actually so gets the status spawn, but he just looked at the jungle, saw what he had, and then he decided to work with it. Generally don't expect level 2 Spirit Breaker at that point when there's not been any pulls going on.
Yeah, he's been getting some lucky jungling. They're gonna actually go for the stun. Who got the rune there? Looks like Earthshaker managed to take the bounty, so he's pretty happy, although Doxia gets a regen. Always nice for that hero. And in mid, already working out for HR, so they're pulling a little bit ahead. Do you think the Gyrocopter just needs to rotate?
I think with the Lich having the lane this far back, he'll be fine. I think it's mostly just the fact they didn't expect that to happen. But I don't think it'll happen too much. Should be alright to keep him up there for a while at least. Maybe rotate him away after he gets level, or the Starladder starts feeling pressure from the leveled Iron Shell.
They might be bringing some more hurt. They've got the slow, but I don't think a charge is going to come out. Jiu-Jitsu is standing really close by. I think, yeah, the creeps actually see him, so not going to be able to do the sneakiest of things, but certainly a nice start out from HR. Now, some itemization in this game. I wonder, Beastmaster, used to seeing him just rush Necrobook. Is there any reason he might want to blink earlier this game, maybe to lock down Windrunner? And actually, Kaiser taking a lot of damage again, but a really nice fissure, unfortunately on the wrong side. Can they catch? It's Libo. Not quite so much. I think if that fissure were on the correct side, they would have a kill. Goes for the Echo Slam without having... Not Echo Slam. The Enchant Totem without having a point in Ultra Shock, so... That was weird.
Alright, click damage.
Yeah.
3-minute Echo Slam, scary, yeah.
He did not... Yeah.
I think... Oh. Sorry, I completely forgot your point. Oh yeah, the Necrobook. I think it's better because... Go Blink... point earlier where you lack damage in fights, and if you go blink, it's all on the shadow. You go for the Necrobook, it gives you like a more solid tower pushing, it gives you better team fight. You have the Spirit Breaker to initiate in the early stages of the game, and Darkseer to some extent. If you surge into Roar, it's generally good enough, especially at night time. I'd like to see the Necrobook first.
Yeah, HR, I mean, I don't think it's a problem just because of how this game will progress, but their early game team fight's going to be a lot of magical damage coming out from Doxia, coming out of Shadow Fiend, and I wonder how that's going to affect them. Shocklow creep cutting again, and he is having a ball. He is top of the Sea Earth net chart, and there's nothing Skylark can do here, I feel. Golden Boy's lane's surprisingly weak.
He's getting good though. He's only a few behind. Which I'm kind of surprised about. He's managed to sustain really well. He opted to just go for like a lot of regen at the start, hasn't picked or anything, so...
Oh, we've got a fissure on top. The boar is tanking a little bit of it. Can they get the damage? They've also got the slow. It's live. They need about 2 more auto attacks. He eats the mango and the rocket barrage, but they didn't continue going forwards. And he uses the flat cannon, but it is not enough. Just letting It's Live get away on 20 health.
Not value on the mango.
And unfortunately, they'd rotated a bunch down bottom for Skylark as well, but finding nothing for HR. So both sides having their ganks foiled. And that'll be that. Actually, oh gosh, Skylark, he's been found out by a bash. He manages to get off a big slithering crush, but Shocklow is still coming. The Splinter Blast doesn't hit, but Shocklow, he's going to dive this tower. And now maybe next time's in trouble as well. Where are the TP rotations? Maybe next time's just going to go down, and Skylark should follow. They don't manage to get off a secondary charge, but they'll see him in a second. Slithering Crushies, it's nighttime. Here comes SF. Gonna just fill himself up, or can Skylark get the deny? He misses the raise, and Skylark goes down to neutrals. Well played.
You have to guess at that point. So, nice heads-up play from him, opting for the kills. Wouldn't have worked if it was any other camp than Wolfgang, so kind of fortunate as well.
Yeah, thank goodness for that damage output on the Alpha Wolves, but the early rotations from HR, I was surprised to see the Wyvern go too, but they're definitely doing a good amount of work.
Yeah, it was a really heads-up play because when he saw them there, he TP'd the tower, but unfortunately this ward gave vision of him coasting around on the side, so they were able to get the charge off.
Yeah.
Nice to see the early aggression coming out from HR. The Wyvern being able to do this is like much nicer than just sitting in a lane being a defensive support. Makes you feel a lot better about your hero, for sure.
Yeah. We've also got a potential gank coming in to the mid lane. Windrunner has to be careful, there's a lot of magical damage, although she's probably just gonna, yeah, she actually just tanks the Splinter Blast. They've got Skylark coming in, but I don't know if this is going to be enough. A power shot comes out. Goddamn is getting a little bit low. Do they know where Spirit Breaker is? Yujitsu just hiding. The Ion Shell's about to wear out, so I think nothing will happen here. And we've got more heroes. Earthshaker, I think they saw Yujitsu. They're hunting for him. He's going to manage to charge away, and oh, they catch him at the edge, but he's up on the high ground. He's stuck, and they know it. Do they have any way of eating through the trees? Who has trees?
I don't know exactly where he is, unfortunately. I think he's fine.
Yeah, the power shot misses. He'll probably just charge away in a few seconds, and there he goes. And that's a nice space creator. Appa Ninja, very happy to get the last hits in mid while that goes down.
Yeah, GP ended up getting the ward that placed behind the tower early with the sentry, so that's heads up by them, realizing it could be there. I don't think it was actually given away, but a nice heads up support play. And now they're looking for the smoke into Appa Ninja.
Yeah, we have 5 heroes in mid. Skylark trying to make something happen with that sprint. He's been spotted though. He's gonna go in. He's gonna be able to get through the creeps with the changes to sprint. He'll get off the Slithering Crush. Here comes the charge though. The cooldown is dropped. I think Yujitsu should probably fall, and Kaiser's going for the SF kill. A strange raise and the power shot getting the kill. Where? Oh, we've got a bunch of different things going on. Yujitsu, his charge is coming off cooldown in 3 seconds, but the physical damage with amp damage will be too much, and he falls as well. So it's live. The TP rotation not doing it, and Golden Boys have tied up the score and got themselves a nice bit of gold, killing that top farmer off.
I like this play from the Spirit, going for the sacrificial lamb play, but just not quite enough. See coming out.
Yeah, I agree. It was pretty nice. Something else I just realized is Windrunner also pretty dang weak against a cold embraced target because of how Focus Fire works. I guess she has Power Shot, which of course she's maxing, but don't know if it'll be enough. And this charge, I think, will just be for Harass. Spirit Break is not a high enough level to get more than that done. And here comes the Windrun. She's gonna actually maybe be able to turn it around. Is the Shackle coming out? It latches! Goddamn, is dead! And he goes down there. Really well played from both Skylark for popping in, but mainly from Thug. Quick thinking there.
I like that they try to force the TPs, but they're obviously not on the same page, so there's no way you get that kill. You recognize that, I recognize that, goddamn, unfortunately didn't. Or maybe you just got greedy and went for one more hit on the harass.
Yeah, I think it was the one more hit. I think that they knew they weren't getting it because, of course, they're two pretty weak heroes. Splinter Blast does a lot early game, but it doesn't do that much and against the Windrunner. So I think that they just thought they could get one more hit off, maybe not expecting the Shackle to latch. Arguably a bit of bad positioning by Goddamn, and Goddamn's a really great player. I've seen some fantastic things from him, but everybody makes mistakes.
That's the truth, Dodo. You can be one of the best players in the world and you can make 2 silly mistakes and everyone will criticize you.
Yeah. Okay, they're putting himself in a bad spot. We got a Primal Roar coming out onto him. A Fidget, but he's in the middle of a wall. He gets the cooldown. Can his team do any sort of follow-up? Here comes Lich, also not having level 6, and now maybe next time. I think he has to try to bait them in or something. Level 6, very close for Lich, but I don't think they're getting this. They will have another stun and enchant totem, but oh, the axes might end up just killing off maybe next time. Goodbye, he says. Now Skylark is here as well, but Skanks, he's gonna fall. Slithering Crush at least nets them one return kill, and here comes Thug. Shackle gonna pop up that Surge. Shackle not gonna latch, it's at least gonna burn some of the Surge time, but Skylark just keeping up with him. Another Slithering Crush, and I think this is the end of the offlaner. These power shots, I mean, yeah, they're easy to land on a Slithering Crushed unit, but still, really nice job coming out of Thug.
Place made for the Shadow Fiend though, he's at least putting pressure on this tower, should be able to at least take DD rune.
Yeah. Oh, Earthshaker gets the deny. Well played there. Always what we like to see. Denying a tower out from under a DD Shadow Fiend, that's pretty cheeky.
Yeah, he's 2 for 2 this game, he got the one bottom as well. So he's the bane of HR's tower pushing right now.
Yeah.
They want revenge. Cal's coming in.
Or Earthshaker, he's gonna, maybe next time, not gonna have the fissure or the stun connect, and he should be okay, but down bottom, they're getting ready to do it again. They have the Primal Roar up, and Skylark this time, he's gonna be Primal Roared, but can he just slither away? The sprint was active already, he's taking amped up damage, and here comes the charge. He needs team backup, and here they come. They might just be able to get this with the Spirit Breaker. He is only level 5 though, so gonna cancel that charge. I think if you have Nether Strike, you just go for it.
Radiant's middle tower is
Yeah,
under attack.
they're actually fairly underleveled on HellRaisers, so being only just hit level 8. Say the Spirit Breaker's not quite 6 yet. Goddamn, at least has it, so maybe they do something with the curse instead. The Nether Strike.
Yeah, we've also got Earthshaker only being level 4, but this will happen. He's roaming. He maybe arguably doesn't need it as much, especially with how powerful Fissure is. Fissure's a fantastic spell early game, and he's doing work with or without the Echo Slam that I accidentally keep calling the Enchant Totem. Just slightly sleepy Dota things, but big pickup. Skylark has his Blink, and that's what I meant by, I think if you have the Nether Strike on the Spirit Breaker, you just go for a kill on the Slaughter every time because you're delaying his Blink, but unfortunately it's up, and suddenly the game getting a bit harder for HellRaisers.
I like his decision to straight rush Blink this game, opting away from getting Tranquils or Bottle or any kind of small items.
Yeah, I also think that, while it might be a little bit hard, it's always hard to get good Blink initiation against a Beast Monster. You have to go it. There's just so many chances where it benefits you, and Thug actually, he's going to be engaged upon. He manages to get the Shackle, but here comes Goddamn, does have the Winter's Curse, and I wouldn't be surprised, there it goes. And they might even use the Primal Roar. Where's the backup Thug? Can he just windrun away? He's got TP support, but taking physical access damage. Here comes the cooldown, but Thug is dead, and they might be able to get a bunch of return kills, though. Oh, from Lich, bouncing everywhere. Goddamn, taking a bunch of damage. Razors are going to come out, and Kaiser, he's going to be pulled back through the wall, but the Slithering Crush saving his life, and I think he gets out, maybe next time being pinged. He is most certainly dead. Did not have gold to pick up a TP, but still a good turnaround kill. A little bit in favor, I would argue, for HR just because they managed to get the Windrunner and she's topping the net worth chart, but certainly salvaging that situation really well.
Radiant's top tower.
It looks like they're going to be able to transition power as well. Skylark trying to delay it, but I think they've got the mind to just take the crush and try to power.
Yeah, and I don't want to go for it.
Way so they don't have to worry about the tower aggro. But that's going to give time for GB to resurrect and come back with full mana and HP.
This charge, I don't know if it's going to connect. It looks like Yojitsu's going for it, and Skylark suddenly in a bad position. It's raise time. We've got the Nether Strike up, and that is a dead Skylark, just overstaying his welcome. And you said Golden Boy's respawning, but at the same time, they are not in a position to fight. No Blink up on Earthshaker, of course, so they're just going to have to deal with the fact that they lost a tower there, and also a good man in the...
Good fish.
Oh, a good fish, yeah. I really like this smoke up play. I think, yeah, they're...
GB
Was
know
it
about
seen?
it, I think.
Yeah, was
Yeah.
it seen? I feel like it was
Power
just out
shot
of...
saw it. If he was looking at the end of his power shot, they would have seen the smoke animation.
Oh,
looks
but
like-
maybe next time's just gonna end up tanking the gank. He manages to get the fissure on one, but here comes the Primal Roar. And again, HR, they're not exactly going in one by one, but Golden Boys is finding them one by one and just really punishing them for these, for I guess not playing as 5 at 15 minutes into the game. Can't really blame them. Can they get the Roshan off the back of this? They've got 1 point in presence of the Dark Lord. They're going for it.
Definitely can. They've got potions to tank as well, so that helps a lot.
Yeah. In this moment, we'll take a few seconds to look at all the items that have been flying out for the lineup of HR. We've got Goddamn, rocking those Tranquils, and a Soul Ring. Pretty damn good for a Wyvern. Spirit Breaker's got up his own, so of course his damage output is a little bit better and helping him with the Roshan. Sanj first on Shadow Fiend. We've been seeing this a lot more, where heroes recognizing they need to tank up. And this smoke coming out. Skylark, he gets the 3-man Slithering Crush, a power shot as well. The cooldown might just take out Yojitsu. He's gonna go down, but they manage to get off the wall. Where's the vacuum? Thug is pounding into Affin and doing the Lich ult. Is it gonna bounce back to Its Life? No, it goes to the creep. Its Life takes it again, and he manages to get out, but on the back lines, it looks like they've lost Beastmaster. Shackle trying to kill off Kaiser, but will he in fact go down first? The Shackle saving his life. Goddamn's going for any sort of thing. The Splinter Blast does manage to kill off the Slaughter, and now goddamn, he will fall, but at least he got a return kill. Is it gonna be a full 5-man team wipe? Thug, I think, has this easily, body blocking up goddamn, and that'll be the end of that. And how low was the Roshan? I don't know.
About a third, I think. There's
Yeah.
no way they take the
Oh gosh, Thug, why are you walking through the wall? Life choices.
check, I think.
Yeah.
He's also gonna have to walk straight for the rune as well.
I think he just doesn't walk through it again. We can hear Spirit Breaker coming out for Thug, and he's dead! The Nether Strike gonna end up killing him, and the Lost Auto attacks, and Skanks may have gone down as well. So this wall doing work. He gets the haster, and one of the few that'll save his life. Oh my goodness, he gets the bash, but there's gonna be a fissure to stop him out. But they're coming again. They're not able to stun him again. Can they do anything? Bash is coming. Echo Slam expended on Yujitsu, and the cooldown's gonna get themselves a kill. Well played there from Golden Boys, but of course they did end up losing Windrunner. This game suddenly picking up. We're at almost 2 kills a minute.
If they managed to take Roche with the time he bought there, it would have been like perfect time, but it's 60 minutes in. You're not going to take a 1/3 HP Roche in like 5 seconds of space.
Yeah.
Just overstaying is welcome a bit.
And HR had built themselves up a nice lead off the back of some of those team fights. Everything is trending back down towards very even, and in fact an experienced lead in Golden Boys, although we expect that with the Lich.
Yeah, they made top where they by 2 exchange, then they ended up getting the Starladder and the tower, and then they smoked and got a pick. That was like perfect sequence for them.
Yeah.
Exactly the tempo they needed for this to go well. But when they went into Roche, they obviously weren't confident GB wouldn't contest them. But the game kind of like they can't do that again. What I'm trying to say.
We've got another smoke up from Golden Boys. Just checking around the map. There is a mech finished on Doxy. Yeah, this is their last smoke on Golden Boys for 5 minutes. They wanted to make sure that the Roshan wasn't being done again. Unfortunately, they also can't do it themselves without a pickoff, and it's really hard to Roche against a Beastmaster who, by the way, has Necrobook 1 up. And now they're going for a smoke, it looks like, on HR. Goodness gracious.
Work out really well if GB split right now.
And it looks like they will. They might go and investigate their opponent's jungle, not expecting the Roshan attempt right after they checked it. Although Alpha Ninja on HR, leading the charge, it looks like they actually want to go check the jungle. So both teams, I think, smoke's going to be off the mark.
If they were really next level, I think they would have known kind of what GB were looking to do, realizing they smoked, and if they just went into Roche and took it, that would be much better than what they're doing now. But it's a much riskier play.
Oh, they know. The lineup of HR pinging out the Ancient Stack, and they might be able to do some good work here, but they're all backing out, so never mind. I thought it's always a nice play to see someone go for killing whoever's doing the Ancient Stack, because you generally get a little bit low this early in the game to Ancients. Instead, they're just going to go back to Roshan, I think. Unfortunately, because of how long this has taken, I think Golden Boys is going to be onto this.
If you can trade Roche for an Ancient Stack, you're really happy with for HR, but this is scouted out because there's exceptional vision around the pit, so they're going to have to deal with the excellent team fight of GB now.
Yep, and now we've got the Sanj. The Aegis does manage to go down in time. They've got a stun coming out, and they managed to destroy Spirit Breaker, but of course you've still got an Aegis up on the Shadow Fiend and all the other benefits. Now, a few other items. I think with that we should be seeing... Oh, we have an engagement continuing. The high ground Wyvern isn't latched on and is going to just wander away. Dogsy, I think, should have gotten... Actually, he's still saving up gold. I thought he was going to go straight for a Blink Dagger. Just kind of maybe as the Beastmaster follow-up initiation.
I'd expect a Blink, but maybe he's going to opt for Force Staff or some item instead to... Okay, no, never mind. Just wanted to go back to base instead. I like the Blink, as you say, counter initiation plus another form of initiation. They need to take this game.
Oh crap, are we lagging?
Sounds
on
fine
stream.
on my end.
Okay, I just saw some lag. I can actually change servers. I know we had some issue yesterday. So, always fun.
While you're sorting that, HR looking to get some aggression up in the jungle, but good luck as they get scouted up with the ward from GP. They're trying to de-ward knowing that this might be there, but just looking at the wrong spots, unfortunately.
Yeah, and it looks like we might be hitting a spot of lag. I'm not dropping anything on my end, but I'm just going to do a quick restart, folks, on OBS, so I don't think there'll be any downtime, but just give me a second, and yeah, we're going to maybe miss an engagement, but
I'll actually be simple.
Okay, apparently we're not lagging. Okay, Never mind, we've got an engagement, we've got a Winter's Curse coming out, we've got a no Primal Roar, actually it was expended, Skylark gonna die to the axes. There is a cooldown coming, it's gonna hit on a few, it should just deter the rest of the engagement, and we've got mass TPs leaving from the lineup of Golden Boys.
That's a really smart idea to just get out, not sacrifice anything more.
Yeah.
Kind of rare in our games. There's always save your friend syndrome, people just throwing their lives away for their team and regretting it later. A nice discipline. See that stuff.
100%.
Fortunately, it's going to cost them a tier 2 tower though. I think this was going to die anyway, so now they get to clear out lanes and get a bit more farm. And of course, Jaro closing in on an SNY. Baker working towards the blink, still really far away unfortunately.
Yeah, so hopefully I have fixed our lag problem. Sorry about the little bit of distraction for the calls there, just trying to make sure it's not lagging on Twitch too much, and I'm trying a different server, folks, so hopefully that'll fix everything. Now, looking around, the gold lead firmly back in HR's control, but it's certainly within one team fight apart, and we've got Blink Dagger up on Slaughter, working on his 4 staff. Windrunner has also finished off her Aghanim Scepter, so her damage output is suddenly way, way up. And I think Lich going for a medallion. Always a nice pickup.
Yeah. Probably just take up the front lines. At the moment, HR, they need to be ahead for this. They're keeping the
Thug
pace going.
having another strike and a Primal Roar Thug. He's not going to have a moment to go down. They're going to get up a really beautiful Lich Blast, and with the slow as well, I think both of these two might just end up dead. Cold Embrace or no. That is an Aegis Burn, and Windrunner has brought back. Can she get in here? There's going to be a Shackle coming out. Nothing Ninja can do there. And with Focus Fire coming in, a Vacuum Wall of Dreams, but with the Blast, with the Requiem of Souls not being as nearly as much as they needed, it's not going to work out. There is the Winter's Curse. Kaiser will probably fall here, but I think it is worth it to burn the Aegis and burn the SF in return, although it's kind of even because there was a Windrunner buyback, yeah, and we can see by the gold exchange, it's pretty even. So a really nice play there, and Skylark, he's desperately searching for more. Yujitsu's going to TP out, and I doubt they'll manage to catch up the hasted Winter Wyvern, so a nice play there, all of them escaping.
I think the buyback's worth it in the end, because I think they've had to take the fight without the Windrunner being there to do the damage she did. But it's just like, she loses a lot of gold doing that. I think she was at like 84, count the death on top of paying for the buyback. She lost about 1,000. Her item progression is going to be stunted slightly, but it's worth it to keep up power, I think. Necrobook 3 is going to be coming out really soon.
Yeah.
Just 300 away. It's like their peak. And HR have like more small item on the SF, depending what he wants to go for. Blackshlow has the Guiding Greaves plus Blink. Go with the Solar Crest as well. This Wyvern is really fun.
Yeah, this Wyvern, I'm a little bit surprised opting for the Solar Crest and now popping up a gem instead of the Blink, but it's certainly doing good work, and it feels like with Sharklaw with Beastmaster there, with Sharklaw with the Blink on the docks here, with Beastmaster already getting many great Primal Roars off, you maybe don't need the Blink initiation at this point.
The Blink's great in theory, but it's not what they need to win the game. As I say, they've got the ways of initiating, and you just need to make your SF as physically big. If you could get a Vlad's, if you Solar Crest, which she opted for, it mitigates a lot of what GB, especially the Windrunner at this point of the game. It's only level 2 amp on Starladder now, so not all of it's counteracted, but every little bit helps.
Yeah,
Unfortunately,
also
it's just the situation where Shadow Fiends won't call this game. They have to play around it. They're itemizing towards it.
Okay, now we have no picture and just sound. Sorry, I'm still having some technical issues, which is always the dream.
Keep talking.
Excellent, thank you, PQ. Let me just check that it isn't just something where we needed to refresh and we'll get the image back, and if that's the case...
5-man smoke into GB's Ancients, get scouted out. They initiate with
Oh.
1 to 2.
And there's going to be a Winter's Curse coming out, maybe next time, looking to fall. This is going to be a good, the cooldown, just killing off illusions, and they get a clean pick. I don't think they can follow it up onto Lich.
But this is the rest of the big creeps, and probably the mid tower as well.
Yeah.
Maybe not, actually. They feel possibly a bit unsure with the back on cooldown right now, the wall as well. They want to just wait for their ultimates.
Yep.
Maybe not. I think it's the play though. They have to be able to go for things like this. If they wait on their ultimates, it's going to buy too much time, Big GP. The Necro book is up, so that's probably one of the biggest things.
Yeah. Okay, it looks like I have got it.
Radiant's bottom tower is under
Fixed.
attack.
Okay,
She-
I've got it fixed, I'm pretty sure. And hopefully that'll be all the tech issues for today. So, hopefully we'll be done now.
Radiant's bottom tower
Dota.
is under attack.
Yeah, and hopefully that is all we need to worry about. And as you said, we've got some item pickups. Gyrocopter finishing Sanj and Yasha working on the BKB now. Ooh, slithering crush onto that bird with great prejudice. No love there. It looks like Lich is gonna be their mech carrier.
Yeah, I think that's really optimistic, picking it up so late. Rather have had your suggestion of the medallion over. I mean, Buckler's cheaper, so maybe you wouldn't even have the medallion at this point. I'd rather see him working towards that. Counteract a Solar Crest as well. Putting it on the Shadow Fiend can really mess him up. If you ever get to that sort of farm, at least.
Yeah.
You have to expect you're gonna get items at one point in the game, right?
You gotta hope for it, certainly. Something else I wanted to mention is that this Earthshaker, he's getting a really late blink here. He seemed to be on a good pace at one point in the game, and then he's just been picked off, it feels, one too many times.
It's really hard when HR are just running at you. They have the vision from the bird. His positioning has to be pretty not die in these fights. Or it's awkward. And so when you've got the Lich who's also pretty poor, he's probably buying most of the ward. Not much room. The Gyro's farming, the Starladder's farming a lane. Windra is definitely farming as well. Trying to catch up from her buyback.
Yeah. It's rough that she bought back. She's fourth now in the net worth. At one point she was topping the chart. It seems like she's doing decently, but of course she wants a crit here. She wants any sort of damage item. She desperately needs that, and it's really something where if she doesn't get ahead, as you mentioned, she wants to be ahead of the Shadow Fiend a bit, and it's really hard to be there. So, on the other hand, they have two backup supports, so at some point HL's lineup... yeah,
It's coming out.
Yeah. Always good, folks. You can be all protected, too. You, too, can be protected from the D.
The word that's spoken.
Yeah. So, anyway.
Honestly, it's so shit that this happens. Players, it's just so frustrating to deal with.
Yeah, and I'm like super confused that it's happening this game because it's not exactly although
Gonna be
Yeah.
on Join Dota Lounge, right? Sorry, not Join Dota. Dota 2 Lounge.
yeah,
So there's
yeah,
gonna be
that's
bets
it.
on it.
So I didn't want to say anything, but yeah, because there are bets. But anyway, maybe he's also just having connection issues. So
Yeah, let's go
I
with
d-
that.
yeah, it happens all the time. So Earthshaker, he's going to get closer and closer to that Blink Dagger, but he really needs to die for not like 10 minutes for this to actually latch. He's 1, 7, and 8. The 8 sounds good, the 7 not so much.
You want to swap the 7 with the 1, and then you'll be happy. Then you'll have a blink.
Then you'd have a Blink years ago, so feeling a little bit unfortunate here for maybe next time, but he's used to this. Maybe next time always has a really rough road. And Golden Boys with some other stuff that we won't talk about going on now. If you're wondering here, do you try for a Blink still, or are you in favor of just going straight crit?
What, the idea your Earthshaker's gonna get the blink in the next 5 fights go well, without already having one use a bit of damage or maybe a BKB itself. I think crit's not the best choice, but it's the one they generally tend to go with. Probably Trail of Thought right now. I could see BKB though, because HR just have a lot of shit right now that makes it hard for him to do what he wants. Circumvent the Requiem, just the Iron Shell damage in general, the constant blast spam coming out from the
Yeah.
wipe. It makes his life easier.
It's also something where the Winter's Curse, it can still be cast on the BKB unit, but it means you don't attack your allies, and since you're starting to stack up, always good.
Yeah, and if you're wind running, your allies don't hit you, so perfect synergy, right?
Yeah. Yeah,
I'd be
actually,
surprised though if he does go BKB. I think I could see Maelstrom as well, because this is really next level, I guess, but if he went into the Mjolnir, there's so many instances of damage from HR with like the Iron Shell and that in general, the balls hitting you, Necrobook hitting you. If you put it on the Jaro and he BBs and runs at you, he can do so much. But I don't
the
think anyone's ever
illusions?
going to do that. Yeah, that as well. You can kill the wall really easily up to your farming speed. But unfortunately, it is like a waste 5k gold other than that.
Yeah, it's really rough to justify it here, and it certainly doesn't help you. You don't get tankier other than the damage instances. It's certainly something where a well-coordinated HR team can move their attacks off of you depending on the instance. And of course, as you mentioned, they might just raise you down anyway. So really rough there. For Shadow Fiend, I wouldn't be surprised if his next item, he actually went the Blink Dagger, something we haven't seen as much this patch. I wouldn't be surprised if his next item is the BKB.
I like the choice of items he went for the game. The S&Y, really standard stuff, opting to exit pick a mech so he can go into more of the carry role earlier, which makes a lot of sense. Following it up with the blink so he can do more of the wombo combo stuff with his team, even if it's just a solo pick off with like Wyvern ulti into Blink Requiem, or presence. And I think he doesn't need BKB super early right now, because he got the S&Y pretty early, had the Aegis well, so that probably prompted more. So BKB next is a very logical choice.
And I think the Beastmaster will pick up his Blink Dagger as well next, and we'll just be like, hey guys,
He's so
we'd be
poor at the
blinking.
moment though. He's having a sad game.
I mean,
26 minutes, Necrobook free and a magic wand, like, yeah.
considering how his lane had a bunch of kills kind of early on, they definitely managed to kill off, I think it was Lich and Gyrocopter took a tumble in that top lane each. I thought he was going to have a much better time, and unfortunately hasn't been able to seal the deal on farm or kills, but he's been very active. He's got 13 kill involvement on his team, which only has 17 kills, and I'm impressed.
Yeah, part of the reason for that is, as you say, he's the one moving around because he has to be the one moving around. Satchlo's like pushing lanes and constantly taking the Radiant Woods if he feels confident. Then Afro Ninja's taking one lane plus his entire woods. So there's very little space for the Beastmaster to get his own items up. He's mostly getting it through fights.
Yeah, and
while we're having quite a lot at this point, mostly dying, I feel like.
Can you come look at this effigy? I don't even know what hero this is. Like, it looks... Abaddon. Why does it have a tree in it? Do you see the tree?
It's not a tree, it's antlers.
Yo, okay. I'll believe you. No idea. Nope, I don't see it.
It's completely messed up. There's like a sword hanging out.
Yeah, it looked like Tiny's tree to me, and then a pouncing Marana dog, cat, and I was really confused. But Spiritbreaker also has up a Glimmer Cape. This is something where the supports, while the Lich is a hero who can go without any items, Glimmer Capes early, not only are they fantastic items for the magic damage reduction, it really hurts your opponent's economy because you have to pick up sentries or dusts. Otherwise, people get away. And as a weak support, that always sucks.
Yeah, screw that item, honestly. Everything that got implemented, support's life just got so much harder. And,
yeah.
It's really good as well, because it fits into the theme of buffing up your Shadow Fiend, which is their only frontliner here. He's getting nuked down by constant harass. It completely kills their sustain and their push. So Glimmer helps out with that. It also gives them a form of initiation.
Definitely. I'm just like, did Beastmaster just, I've forgotten what happened before this pause now. And like, Beastmaster has the Guardian Greaves debuff on him, but clearly Darkseer Shocklow is on the bottom lane, so I'm just like, what happened? What's going on? So I think he just TP'd down there and it's having a bit of a surge about. To try and help out Earthshaker here, would you just try to calm down the game until he gets his blink, because I really think Golden Boys, you hit a new wind when the Earthshaker has blink. A lot of these pushes, HR has to position themselves better. As you said, they're going to have SF kind of frontlining, the rest of the heroes waiting to come in after, because otherwise Earthshaker's going to pick them all off, and it potentially makes these team fights a bit favorable for Golden Boys.
They definitely would like to slow the pace down. It's just a case of how much HR lets them. When playing the Shaker, you're the one that always wants to be there to stall the push, maybe cancel these, or you want to be there ready to engage your team if they get caught, or engage if the enemy team's in a bad position. Normally the cores that TP in or are taking the like it's mostly just going to be on getting a fight where he doesn't die and maybe gets 1 or 2 kills, or is just in the area for the kill gold.
Yeah.
The way he gets it.
And just so folks know, each team does get 10 minutes of pause time, I believe, per game. So
Isn't it also per instant? Like if it's one player, it's pause time for them?
No, it's 10 minutes per team.
Yeah,
Sorry,
that
when he
makes
said
sense.
goddamn, I definitely read that as like, goddamn that this is happening. And then remembered it's the player's name. I was like, wow, Leo, wow.
Alright, they're gonna man up and Mike... Okay, right, I'm gonna tell you a personal story here. I was playing a match, my player spilled keyboard, and I had to play and Dazzle from minute 1 to about minute 30. It was so hard. If they can manage to pull this off, it would be insane.
I mean,
I had to
goddamn.
micro my hero, I had to micro the ball with all these weird stupid hotkeys. I kept pressing F1 to on the Beastmaster hero and it didn't work.
Oh, yeah, that'll be. Oh, goddamn is now reconnecting.
I think he's just reconnecting though.
Yeah. No, goddamn's like, okay, team Spirit Breaker, you're microing me. I am now microing. But unfortunately, it does look like we're gonna have to go into this down a few players. I think a lot of these players experience with micro, but as you said, a Beast Monster is just a whole nother level, and especially something where we potentially have, I don't know whether Goddamn will be doing it or the Spirit Breaker, it's probably going to be one of those supports microing the core, just because the other cores maybe have a rough time, but as a Winter Wyvern holding the gem, who has to get off that perfect Winter's Curse, I would not expect him to be the one microing, because it's so rough there, and as you said, there's Boar, there's Necro Creeps, there's the Hawk, there's just Beast Monster things.
I think the Boars are gonna pretty much get neglected. The Hawks everyone could do, because it's like, okay, your Shadow Fiend's farming 1 point, he just moves the Hawk to wherever he feels he wants vision. So the team can kind of take the Hawk. The Necro is, again, annoying because none of them will have it hotkeyed initially, so they'll have to drop it, be like control it up mid-fight, while also thinking about controlling the hero. It's the whole new point of Dota. You know, if you want to play hard mode Dota, this is how you do it.
I'm sure some of these players, though, have played other types of MOBAs or RTSs, so I'm sure they will be able to figure it out. Goddamn,
Doable, but like, be at such a lead for it to work, I think. Your opponents have to be really bad, which was how my game ended up working, but I don't think it's the case here.
Suddenly, super rough. We've also got another, we've got a smoke up on the Earthshaker. There's smokes up on HR, and both teams waiting for the smokes to get back in stock, although HR's is going to be first. What is he drawing? Okay, I think he was trying to draw something.
Yourself.
No, I'm pretty sure he was trying to draw something, and then he realized that he's like, oh, I can't do it. I don't have the owl macro. The owl macro is so good. I always enjoy that. We're also really light on the effigies, like...
Yeah, effigies is bad now, though, because everyone's just screwed them up highly. Shame, really.
My throat hurts. Okay.
It's nice that they're opting to play, though, as opposed to just forfeiting the game. Maybe it gives them time to get back in as well. Or
also,
for a stand-in for the second.
organize a stand-in for a second game. I hope we don't have the series forfeit, just because I was really excited to see these two teams play, feeling like they're very even given their current records, but unfortunately we may not, and I am not sure at all who's microing. So another problem with the Beast Monster here is, I believe you can't, he still earns gold, and you can't buy items on the disconnected player, and right now in Reborn we have no remake function.
Yeah, not being able to buy a blink dagger on him is going to be a problem.
100%. It is not nice to be in this bit of a pickle, so...
Alright, so you can't even pull him a blink, right? The Wyvern can't get fat and pull
No,
him a blink.
no,
That's a
that
huge
doesn't
problem.
work.
They, honestly, I think they're going to have to win in the next 5 to 10 minutes in the next Roche. It's going to work for them. They have to make 1 or 2 big fights, take a few towers, get the Roche, and game.
They have
No way
a
this
lot...
is going to work.
Yeah, they have a lot of push potential just because Inner Beast is such a fantastic passive, and yeah, I think they're going for maybe an all-in play here on a pick-off. We can hear Wyvern getting ready, but they're all backing out on Golden Boys, and they're completely in the know.
It's really impressive no one died after the boss, because that was like 10, 12 minutes of just... People will forget what's happening, unless you're really disciplined in the pause, which most players I've played with aren't. Like, alright, I'll be right back 5 minutes, I'll get a drink, you lose track of what's happening.
Yeah. And they're all going to end up backing out from the lineup of HR. They could easily take down bottom tower, I think, for HR. It's pretty low. As you said, though, sieging high ground is another story, and they're at a lead, but not enough of a lead where you kind of throw your body against the tier 3 and win, necessarily. A good Slitherine Crush coming out, a good Lich Ult, and these Lich Ults this game have been on point. Could just end it for you.
Dire's top tower is under
GB
attack.
have really hard heroes to push into, and the Frost Armor is also one of those things you don't take into account too much, but as a player you really feel like you put going as fast, but
Yeah.
when you only have Shadow Fiend, your right clicker, it's even worse. I guess the Boar and the Necrobooks kind of help as well.
It buffs him up, but you're still right. They're running basically a 1 damage output lineup. Like, they've got a little bit of sources from everything else, but their right click is all SF, and I don't know how viable that is. Now, we have potentially gonna... Oh, maybe next time actually doesn't realize he's completely seen, and he ends up stunning, goddamn. I don't know if that actually changes anything, but kind of lucky. And this sentry completely off the mark. So they get the tier 2 bottom that we thought would be super easy, and they can maybe turn their attentions to Roshan, who's just respawned.
Yeah, I like the fact that Jeep didn't opt to just go for the top tower, because the tier 2 bottom died, which obviously it did. Roshan control gets a lot more limited. That's the way HR win this game right now. They get a Roshan and they just take one really big team fight.
Yep.
You could be
So
optimistic that it can go minutes, I think, but realistic, I think this is window.
Yep. But HR, they understand that maybe they're expected to be doing Roshan, and if they can do the return gank on the Roshan pit, unfortunately, because it's a smoke, they don't see anything, but maybe they'll still be able to get it. They have to have some idea that this is going on, but the smoke still has quite a few seconds left on it, and maybe next time, since he's not placing any sort of wards, they're not seeing anything. Oh, really unfortunate there. I feel like HR could certainly... We also just have to... Oh. Ooh.
No, this is pure outplay, honestly. They're seeing bottom lane pushing, they knew exactly what smoke was happening, now they're going to engage Roche. We have to make a really decision of taking a fight where the vision is good because they have Bork and such, and there's a lane pushing in.
And Shocklow is judging them for their ward placement. I don't know if you saw that. They had a ward in the river. They meant to put it in this sneaky spot that we've been seeing quite a bit. Instead, though, here comes Slaughter, and he might be able to get the jump here. Nobody's disabled his blink. There it goes. There's BKB. They managed to use the Primal Roar, but its live is stunned up both of these times, and he's DC'd. Who cares? Slithering Crush lands onto one, and Ninja taking a lot of damage. He's gonna Requiem of Souls, but that's a BKB unit, and Skylark, he's taking a crap ton of damage. The Lich Ult, it manages to bounce over once, but it's not enough, and Windrunner is dead. Skylark's gonna fall, I think, to Urn. They get off a nice fissure, but somehow HR, one man down, are outplaying them, and Spirit Breaker, the Urn, has managed to kill off Slaughter, but Yojutsu, he's going in for more. He has a charge coming up. Can he do it with the bashes? Can he get the bashes? There's gonna be a enchant totem, but now here comes Ninja, and he is there with the damage. Raise 1, Raise 2, Echo Slam, though, they've got another. He doesn't attack the right hero, I would argue, and maybe next time's gonna fall as well. A 4-man wipe for HR. They don't lose anybody in return, and this is gonna be a super easy Roshan for them. How did they take that engagement?
I think it was mostly just that they used a lot of the spells on the beast after he dropped Book and Raw, and then they weren't able to deal with what HR were putting out. They got a really nice back into, I think it was a 3-man curse, followed up by a Requiem. They got a lot of damage out. They just weren't tanky enough. HR's still at the point where it's like, they have a lot of good fight at this point, and if you use your spells incorrectly, they can definitely capitalize on it. Now
Yeah.
that's like worst case scenario, because you give them Roche, you also lose a fight, so you put them further ahead. Giving them Roche and trying to like further your own worth.
Yeah, HR definitely making a case that despite the DC, they are still in this game, approaching a 12,000 net worth lead and almost a 5,000 experience lead. So they're doing pretty dang well now. As we've talked about, it doesn't feel like they easily have the late game, but they are putting themselves in a fantastic spot. So we'll see. Beast Monster being microed very slowly around the map. We have also Wyvern really close to her Blink Dagger when it comes to gold, and Spirit Breaker 2k as well. So maybe these supports can itemize to help out their Shadow Fiend. Do you think it's a game where something like a Lotus Orb could be coming out for the lineup of HR just to make sure that those shackle shots aren't on point?
I don't think there's too many people that are going to buy it. You could opt for the Wyvern, but I think, as you said,
Maybe I
better
think
option.
Spirit Breaker is the only one who would potentially get the Lotus Orb.
Yeah, I can maybe see that, but I think it's better he just gets. Never mind, Dactyr goes it up.
So I think that
It's
thought
really
process.
good for the amp as well.
Yeah, it's really good for the amp. I believe it will dispel some of the slows coming out of the Lich. It'll return the amp, it'll return the level 1 rocket or year, and it'll make the Lich think twice about who he throws that Chain Frost on. Of course, he can just throw it on a different target. But it can really help. It arguably tanks up the Shadow Fiend because people don't want to engage on him.
Yeah, I'm surprised he didn't go for the Shivas instead as more of an initiation tool and just adds damage, but I think I was saying earlier where they're just on the Shadow Fiend train, buff him up as much as.
And I think actually the Windrunner opting for Blink Dagger over a damage item here. The Slaughter's been doing a good amount of lockdown. Yes, I think the Blink Dagger has helped her positioning, but not having the damage has missed them some kills. She couldn't take out the Shadow Fiend in that bottom engagement over here just because they didn't have any damage on her, it felt like. So Ninja gonna get himself another tower easily, it looks like. Frost Armor not gonna slow him up, and suddenly HR, despite being a man down in a really fantastic place, they still have a really hard high ground siege ahead of them. I think you have to kind of put Necro Creeps on there, maybe have Ninja play up in the front.
I think they have to commit with this Aegis. GB have really strong deep pushes. You see, cooldown just clears out the creep wave. They have Cold Embrace at least, so they're gonna get a few hits in here.
Yeah, and killing off the rocket, as you said, they're getting this tower down to half health. All of these buffs up on Shadow Fiend, making him hit super fast. We can see both of these attack speed auras. Yeah, they get the bottom tower, but Shadow Fiend doesn't care. And as you said, you gotta use this Aegis. They've only got 2 more minutes on it. He may as well completely burn it. They go for the Slithering Crush. He's actually forced up forwards. I think they put the Lotus Orb on him, and so I think it's actually time to just go right back in. This should be returned when it hits, is it? No. Okay,
Yeah,
apparently.
when it hits.
Yeah, so the Lotus Orb expired there, folks, just for folks playing at home who are wondering maybe what happened. And they have gotten themselves a tier 3 tower, immediately dropping a ward. This sentry not going to be nearly close enough to see it. And they're working on the range tracks. Ninja, Lotus Orbed up again. They have to do something, and Skylark deciding to go on the backline. But Thug, he gets off the shackle. It manages to latch him with the Echo Slam. The Primal Roar coming out onto maybe next time. There has to be some sort of follow-up, but they don't see a good wall vacuum combo. But there's the Winter's Curse. Ninja going to drop a Requiem of Souls on top of their head, and suddenly Ties are taking a crap ton of damage, and the Lich Hold has been returned, and it's gonna kill off the Lich. Now Thug taking a lot of damage for it. HR, he's going for some more raises, but I think they just got themselves a Rax. Well played there from HR, and they have put themselves firmly in the driver's seat. I don't think Golden Boys is out of it yet, but a fatal mistake there from the Lich, popping the ult there. They've got Skylark bouncing in, Earthshaker, he doesn't have Echo Slam, but he could certainly bounce in. The Cold Embrace saving its life from everything coming out of the Windrunner, but now not gonna save his life. He manages to just walk away, and now finally the power shot gets him. Can they get the return kills that they need here for Golden Boys? Ninja just going in, pounding into people. He finishes them off with a raise. The charge in is stopped, and will that finally be the end? But Thug, he's suddenly out of position. He's going to try to Windrun it off, and I think they want to back out here for HellRaisers. Surely they want to stop this engagement, and there, we finally see it end. That was a bit ridiculous.
Yeah, the game-winning Lotus Orb on the Lich ulti, I think. Managing to give you a point. Really surprised it actually happened. Really hard to cast it on the like glowing target. I feel like. I guess you can also do it mid-air, so if you see it coming, you can counterplay it. So maybe it is super next level actually.
It's actually, as much as it's like, Lich, why did you cast that ult on him? As you just said, Lotus Orb can be applied while a lot of these projectiles are flying, and even stuff like Winter's Curse, as a Wyvern who looks to be taking a lot of damage in the bottom lane, has Lotus Orb
He
up,
doesn't
but
even
is...
die to a Windrunner, like, he needs damage so badly, and he's going BKB.
Solar Crest, doing work. I was saying that even the...
Lotus Orb, Lich ulti.
No, yeah, even something like the Winter's Curse, Lotus Orb, you can see the animation being cast and apply it. And then it gets really hard sometimes to catch it. They managed to shackle Ninja, but where's the damage follow-up coming out of Thug?
There just isn't a. This Blink is really biting him in the ass, and now he's also trying to follow it up with B because he feels like he needs to. Just really awkward. I wanted to point out earlier when you... like, they had damage in terms of rest of their heroes, but where they really lack the damage is on the B Shadow Fiend. It's even worse now that he has like more support from the rest of his team picking up items.
Dire's top tower
He needs to be the one to kill the Shadow Fiend in BKB, make him play defensive. If he's just allowed to walk at you, then obviously you're gonna have to feel like you need defensive items. It's the Gyro that's the MKB that's gonna be taking that job.
Yeah, so he's gonna be the one, as you said, trying to actually hit people here. I don't know if it's too little too late. I think they've still got a lot of game left in them. Oh, we have a Primal Roar coming out, and it looks like Beastmaster is gonna go down, but can they do anything to save his life? Thug now being killed off by his ally with that MKB. They've got a cooldown happening though. Ninja, he pops his BKB. Requiem of Soul is gonna greatly reduce the damage output. A wall onto kind of no one. The gem needs to be picked up by Shockwell, but he's thinking about returning back in. Ninja has killed somebody else. This time no Lotus Orb to save him. He's gonna go down. So finally a good kill for them, and I think Shocklow got out with the gem, so at least that's something, but having no Lotus Orb up there to deter Skank's gonna really turn it around. And can they just go with two? I'm not sure if Yujitsu is doing the right thing going in with this charge, but we will see. And Skank's, yeah, he's just dead. Nether Strike gonna finish him off. Thank you, Ion Shell, but Skylark pounding into Yujitsu, and he doesn't have a charge up. He's just gonna have to try to fight this, and Glimmer Cape here doesn't do work. Gets the fissure out as well. Yujitsu is gonna fall. You think so? Oh, he didn't charge away. Is he actually going to get out? There is a Force Off and a Blink Dagger up, and yes, Slithering Crush going to seal the deal.
Yeah, that Fisher nearly saved him. If he'd have managed to quickly charge like pop or something instead of just going straight into the side, I think he might have gotten away there. But really hopeful play going into the base trying to glitch.
Yeah. I mean, I think killing the Lich wasn't necessarily the problem, it was getting out. I think if he had been a little bit luckier, could have probably Glimmer Caped out, but of course amp damage got applied, so...
You needed to see that play, for sure.
Yeah. Our experience... Yeah, that is one big Spirit Breaker. So, we've got experience turning towards 0, we've got net worth over 10,000 lead for the lineup of HR. I still think this game is losable for HR, but they need a bunch more items on both the Windrunner and the Gyrocopter, it feels like.
I'm actually really surprised that they've managed to extend their window so far, and I think it's mostly on the back of the Winter Wyvern. Playing really well, he's had farm, entire game, so he's not been hitting good spells, but Solar Crest is obviously super impactful, positioning's even better. Now the Vlad's just buffing his team up a lot.
And really trying to make the most of playing around this single core lineup, or this one carry lineup, because they have other cores. Shadow Fiend, though, the Slithering Crush misses, and now I don't think Skylark or Golden Boys can continue with this gank.
That was so fortunate. Around here, I don't know if you saw it, and the smoke was literally just about to break, but he blinks away. Don't think he knew that they were there. Like blinking towards his team maybe, or he wanted to go farm Ancients, get a rune. It was just so unfortunate. That was like exactly what he wanted, being a solo Shadow Fiend.
And as you said, not working out for them. Is this also a smoke rotation? It is. If they can get this team fight from behind, they could certainly make it a win, and they're just going to go from the side. Thug has no idea. Winter's Curse, Ninja, Requiem of Souls right on top. Thug is going down, and now Kaiser has to fight alone. There is an Ice Frost Blast coming out. Kaiser is doing quite a bit of damage, but it might not be enough, and he's going to fall here with no BKB. How is he going to escape? They've got people going on him. They do even drop the wall for him, and one more auto attack should be the end of him. Suddenly, HR in a good spot to take take another Rax here. I don't know whether they'll be able to catch out Skylark. He's trying to sprint away. The Earthshaker has also laid down a fissure, and I think Skylark should be able to escape here, but a big team fight for HR. That Winter's Curse, Requiem of Souls, a beautiful blade coming out there for HR, and their creep wave bottom pushing as well.
They're managing to get it every fight.
Yeah.
Exactly how they're winning, and whether they'll probably figure this out really soon.
Yeah, they'll know
However,
by the
just have
push.
one.
Gyro, I think, has to use his a big Echo Slam. They're going to manage to pick off its life, but no, the Guardian Greaves come out. They're trying to auto-attack him down. There's going to be a cooldown. That'll catch someone at least. Goddamn, immediately popping the heal. Appa Ninja is going down, though, and they don't manage to get Kaiser in return. At least they forced the buyback. They got over half health onto the tower, but if they pick off some of the rest of these stragglers, maybe finally Golden Boys can turn it into an objective. They're going in. The fissure just misses as Shocklow blinks away, and now the charge coming into Skylark. They try to use the Splinter Blast. By goddamn, it's not going to be enough. There's a heal coming out of Skanks, and now with the dust up onto the Glimmer Cape target, Nether Strike is going to hit on Skylark, but where is his team's follow-up? BKB popped by Yajitsu, and I think that Skylark, he may go down here, but they can't see him, and Yajitsu running around, Glimmer Caped up, oh, not Glimmer Caped up, Lotus Orbed up, doesn't help you against the Focus Fire, although maybe we're going to see that returned, but unfortunately, no such thing. If they manage to get out here, the rest of HR, it looks like, goddamn, though, sacrificing his life, he casts Winter's Curse again. It's not enough to kill, though, and he's going to lose a gem here. This is pretty unfortunate for goddamn. Gonna hold.
Yeah, I think he is.
Yeah. Darklow's coming in, maybe thinking about trying to pick that up, do something. He's just gonna TP out, actually stops his TP. Slithering Crush on him. Is he gonna feed as well? Suddenly everything going wrong for HR, and he's dead!
That's just over extension. Like, I think they saw the game in their grasp, picked off the gyro mid, they also got the Windrunner. Go for the tower push, thinking they maybe don't have buybacks, get 4-man echoed on a creep wave or something. I think it was at least 3. And then it was just like, it's cringeworthy, unfortunately.
Yeah,
However,
and
it's
also,
not over for them. They can still do the exact same thing again. They just need to play a tiny bit more disciplined.
yeah, and I think maybe relying that last teamfight engagement was fantastic for them, and they have smokes coming up, but they might be losing a Roshan here. Earthshaker is now holding the gem, has a 4-staff up as well. We're going to be seeing if there can be any sort of contest. Beastmaster should have a good idea of this, and they dust actually, making sure no one was Glimmer Caping in. Beastmaster should be able to escape here. They actually might get, they got the amp damage. Beastmaster is most likely dead. That was a cheese Roshan as well, which is always worrying. They've actually popped the Necro Creeps, and it's life. He's gonna take a call. Oh goodness, cooldown happens. He doesn't manage to get off the Primal Roar, and now the Wyvern, goddamn, does manage to blink away. They have to take this fight 4-on-5, if at all. If you're HR, do you just dodge until the Aegis is down? I don't feel like you have the time.
I think they could definitely lose a tier 2. High ground defense is so good, but unfortunately Sexual is getting
I don't know what-
trying to push up bottom.
I don't know what he did there. You know that they were in that area. They just took Roshan and he TP'd down bottom. Maybe hoping just to, as you said, push out bottom, make a little bit of space, force them to rotate home on the Radiant for mid lane.
Well, if you got the Iron Shell off on the creep wave and like surged down or away and TP'd, it would have been a really good play. But that fine line where it's really good play or it's just a feed. They're doing the right thing though, trying to do some split push. Unfortunately, he has no TP, so this is extremely all in.
Yep. Lich is holding up Kaiser's Talisman of Evasion. Of course, his next item was going to be that butterfly. And Windrunner is rocking 4.5k gold, now a little bit less, and she still has buyback. So our buyback status is not, I mean, most people have it on timer. Unfortunately, Shadowfiend actually doesn't have his by gold. I'm really surprised by that. You just put up a Satanic.
I really don't think buyback's a way for him. They want to be pushing out. If he's buying out, they're losing the game in the long run.
Did they just dominate the Hawk? They did just dominate the Hawk.
What a play. It's super tanky as well, actually.
Yeah.
Wow.
Well, now you've
That's so
got
legit.
you got like OP Scouting Hawk, 1400 health.
Yeah, that's
literally
an unkillable
8,000
right there
matchmaking points.
That's so legit.
Yeah, I like it. I like the play a lot. I haven't seen that one before yet, folks. So
I mean, who's going to actually micro it anyway?
That too. So Butterfly finished out from Gyrocopter. He also, of course, doesn't have buyback based on time, so not a big deal there that he buys out. He'll probably be able to farm up buyback by the next time it comes around. And Windrunner rocking the cheese. Gyro, of course, rocking that Aegis. What did he... Oh, he swapped out the Helm of the Dominator for the Aegis, so... That'll be something.
Windrunner needs money as well. Pushing with 5k in her bank, even with an Aegis cheese...
She doesn't. She could just get a Chrysalis and, like, it would all be worth it. We've got a Slithering Crush coming out. Manages to catch out. Goddamn. He's getting stunned up again by the bash. They've managed to get the Lotus Ult, but he's going to go down before getting off the Wyvern ult. And that is huge, this team fight. We've also got It's Live falling. Windrunner pounding into Ninja now. And Ninja, he is caught out in no man's land. Manages to blink up, but Skylark getting the Slithering Crush on him. Is this just the beginning of the end? The Shackle could land. Ninja trying to dodge it. There's a wall dropped. No vacuum, and here comes the charge. Thug popping the cheese. Ninja wants the Requiem of Souls, but he doesn't have the BKB. And they're going deep into the base. That's going to be a Lich ult coming out on your Jitsu as well. And suddenly down 2 heroes. This might be a Rax now for the lineup of HR. Lich ulti is bouncing around as well, getting all the creeps. Kaiser's a little bit low, but of course he is Aegis carrier. So why are they going for the... Oh, the creep wave means that they have to go for the tier 2 instead. And
That's
I don't
really
know.
Fortunate.
Yeah.
It's time for HR to get their stuff back up.
Oh, but they see exactly where Ninja is. Maybe next time is maybe going to just blink up on top of him and Echo Slam if he sees him. He could certainly blink forwards here and give it a go. And Skylark cutting off the easy retreat. Shocklow, can they latch him onto the tree? They don't need to. Oh, they get the latch as well. And Shocklow is dead. How does HR defend with just 2?
I think they still hold high ground. That's the dumb thing, because it's taking so long, and it should become teamination on the Windrunner, but sieging is not fastest right now. Don't get me wrong, it's decent. Gyro hits for about 300, Windrunner's hitting for just over 200 at the same time. But it's not the quickest, I think they have time to respawn.
Yeah, Ninja, quick on the fingers there, trying to make sure he doesn't go down. And yeah, they'll get this tower. She's got a decent amount of damage. She really needs that crit up. But certainly going to take this, and they're looking to even up the odds in mid. But Wyvern never used her ult. So,
You got picked
goddamn.
up really early, so
Yeah.
that's like deal for GB.
Mm-hmm.
Probably the most influential hero that you can feasibly pick off.
Definitely agree there. We've got Darkseer working on his Shivas. Shadow Fiend, I don't know what you buy out. You get bots, you get rid of the Blink Dagger, or is it Sanjin Yasha you just trade out for something?
I think the Blink's been really good because of how they've been coordinating the ults. Now the BKBs are up on like the Windrunner as well. They have been for a while, but maybe now you just have to sell the Blink and get a crit or a rapier maybe.
Oh, and it's actually MKB from Windrunner. I was really expecting crit. MKB makes sense.
With the
Yeah.
Butterfly.
Butterfly, Solar Crest as well. They have no idea that Earthshaker is chillaxing invisibly because they had lost their gem earlier and haven't picked up a new one since. And maybe next time gonna scout out all of this. He also broke a smoke, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, they're gonna Necrobook and find him. They should have.
Oh yeah, they saw that, now he blinks away. Echo Slam does come off, but there's gonna be the Primal Roar. There's also a charge coming up, maybe next time, but Skylark, he's here with a Slithering Crush. Shocklow taking a lot of damage, but Kaiser, Winter Coast up, they don't seem to have the damage though, he's so tanky, but there's another strike, and Ninja locked down in the Cold Embrace with the amp damage on him. He's not invisible for them. We've got a buyback on the Earthshaker. Can he get back in here in time? And Ninja, he's being isolated out. This might just be GG. He doesn't have buyback. Kaiser is so low, but no cigar, and Yajitsu, he manages to dodge that, that he's still dead. Oh, can he charge away to, oh, he's running through the wall, oh goodness. Oh, Glimmer caped up, can he juke, can he dive, he's TPing, they're gonna just Slithering Crush him, this is really unfortunate.
That's a legit attempt, honestly.
Yeah, it was really beautiful. But as you said, it feels like the one bad team engagement that HR took here may have cost them the game. There's also the DC, of course, but they were looking like they were in a spot to win it 4v5 for quite a while there.
I actually think Wyvern managed to kill the Shadow Fiend there. It's really unfortunate because he's CC'd. You obviously want to Cold Embrace him, but I think Shackle was ending. By the time he got his Satanic off, the stuns were off cooldown again, and he blocked down. So it's really hard in the moment though. I've done it several times and I'm sure my team hates me for it, but
yeah,
it happens.
Sometimes you don't Cold Embrace in the best spot. Now, do you think here that you call GG or keep trying to fight it out as HR? You've lost the gold lead. You've lost the experience lead.
Might as well try one more fight. got 20 seconds on the Shadow Fiend, so I don't think they'll be able to track you if they try to delay a tiny bit here. By a tiny bit of time, then the Shadow Fiend will be up for the third racks.
And then is
they
it
can
GG
still
push
win.
down mid?
Yeah, you try for sure. I don't think you just G out here. Might as well.
Okay.
It's like an extra minute of your time.
Okay. Well, let's see if they can set something up on Kaiser or Thug. There is the glyph coming out, and we've got Necro Creeps popped up. Goddamn, could go for a blink in here, and Kaiser wouldn't have an easy way out. Pops that BKB. Oh, and he's using Flat Cannon. It's live. It's just going to go down. Can't get off the Primal Roar. Even if he died there, getting off the Primal Roar there, I think worth it. But here comes Kaiser. There's a BKB and a vacuum into a Requiem of Souls. Unfortunately, Winter's Curse going to reduce a lot of this damage. Echo Slam comes out. Jiu-Jitsu doing good work. This wall, it's nice, and they call GG, understanding that it is over. Really unfortunate to see here for HR. Hopefully they manage to find a stand-in for the next game, but either way, we'll be going, I think, to a game 2. Do you have any oh.
That, they got robbed, honestly. They should have won the game.
So,
It was-
unfortunately, yeah.
Yeah, it's painful.
Yeah, and it looks like we won't be having another game in this set, which is unfortunate to say the least, which means that we will just be live for